In this video, we're going to learn about addition, subtraction and multiplication of two polynomials. Let's run through the process by looking at an example. So we have two polynomials here, px and qx. Let's find px plus qx, the sum of these two polynomials, the difference of two polynomials, px minus qx, and the product of these two polynomials. Let's do the addition and subtraction first. So when we add or subtract, the main thing we should remember is only like terms can be added together. So first we need to collect the like terms together and then we can perform the addition and subtraction. Okay, let's write it in here. So this is px, 3x cubed and 4x square and 2. So you can see that there's a term with x in it and in qx, but we don't have a corresponding term in here. If you don't have any corresponding term, so what we have to do is just treat it as 0. It's a 0x. Okay, 0x plus 2. Okay, so that's 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 2. We added a 0 because we didn't have a corresponding term for x in here. Okay, and this is your px and qx is 2x cubed, so it's 2x cubed and minus 3x, but we don't have any corresponding term for x square, so we're going to put it as 0x square, and there's no corresponding term for 2, so we're going to put it as 0. Okay, so now let's add them together. Okay, so when we add them together, we need to add the like terms, so it's 2 and 0 can be added together, so it's 2, 0 and minus 3 is we only adding the coefficients and writing down the variable as such. So it's a 0 plus minus 3 is minus 3 x, and then 4 plus 0 is 4 and x square, and 2 plus 3 coefficients of x cube is 5 x cube. So the answer is 5x cubed plus 4x square minus 3x plus 2. So once you're an expert on it, so you don't have to write it down this way. Instead, by looking at this one, so you can see, oh, okay, 3x cubed and 2x cubed can be added together. So I can write it as 5x cubed and 4x squared. There's no corresponding term in here. So we need to mentally, you have to do that mental calculation and then say, oh, okay, 4 plus 0 is 4x squared, and there's a minus 3 in here for the x term, but there's no corresponding term for x in here, so it's a treat as 0. 0 minus 3 is minus 3x, and then 2 plus 0 because we need to treat it as 0, and so it's a 2. So it's so quick when you practice a little bit more. So this is for any beginner, so he's just starting to do this polynomial addition. Okay, so now let's subtract these two polynomials, px minus qx. So we have already written down the like terms together. So it's all about subtracting each coefficients and writing down with the variables. So it's a 2 minus 0 is 2. 0 minus minus 3 is plus 3. So it's a plus 3x. And 4 minus 0 is 4x squared. And 3 minus 2 is 1x cubed. So that's the difference between these two polynomials. And if you want to subtract in one step, and if you don't want to collect terms like this, you can do that way as well. So it's a 3x cubed plus 4x squared plus 2 minus 2x cubed minus 3x. So this is how we write it. So it's a 3x cubed minus 2x cubed is 1x cubed, and 4x squared, there's no corresponding term in here, so you need to treat it as 0. So 4 minus 0 is 4x squared, and then there's an x term in here, so we need to consider 0 here. So it's a 0 minus minus 3 is plus 3x. 2, there's no corresponding term, treat it as 0. So 2 minus 0 is 2. Okay, so x cubed plus 4x squared plus 3x plus 2. So it will get easier when you do more and more examples. Now let's find the product of these two vectors. 3x cubed plus 4x square plus 2 times 2x cube minus 3x. Okay, so when we multiply, we're going to use the distribution law. Okay, so we need to multiply every term in the first bracket with every term in the second bracket. So we need to first multiply 3x cube with first term in the second bracket and the second term in the second bracket. And then we need to multiply 4x square, this next term, 4x square with 2x cube, first term, and then 3x in the second term. Then we need to multiply the last term with this one, the first term in the second bracket and the second term in the second bracket. Okay, let's do that. 3x cube times 2x cube. So we are first performing the multiplication with 3x cube. So you need to first multiply 3x cube with both terms in the second bracket. So it's a 3x cube times 2x cube. That's the first term. That's going to be first term. So when we multiply, we need to multiply the coefficients and we need to multiply these variables as well. It's not like the addition and subtraction where we didn't do anything to these the variable, but this is not how the multiplication works. You need to multiply the coefficients as well as these x terms. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6 and x cube times x cube. So you need to use the one of the index rule. So a to the power m times a to the power n equals a to the power m plus n. So using that one, x to the power 3 times x to the power 3 is x to the power 6 plus, so next term is 3x cube minus 3x. So 3 minus 3 is the coefficient, which is going to be minus 9, and x cube times x. X you need to treat as x to the power 1, so x to the power 3 times x to the power 1 is x to the power 3 plus 1, which is 4. Next we need to multiply 4x square with these two terms, and that will be 4x square times 2x cube. The coefficients multiply together to give 8, and x square times x cube is x to the power 2 plus 3, 5, and 4x square times 3x and coefficients multiply to give us minus 12, and x squared times x is x cubed, which is 2 plus 1. And finally we need to do the multiplication with the last term in the first bracket. That's 2 times 2 is 4, and there's no other variable, it's a 4x cubed, and 2 times minus 3x is minus 6x. Okay, so that's px times qx. So once we've done this much, we need to collect the like terms and then simplify them. So 6x squared, there's only one term with x to the power 6, so we can write it as 6x to the power 6. And next, look for any terms with x to the power 5, so it's only one, so it's a plus 8 x to the power 5. And look for any terms with x to the power 4, which is only 1, minus 9 x to the power 4. And looking for x to the power 3 terms, and you have two of them, so you need to add these coefficients together. So minus 12 plus 4, so using the addition of the polynomial, that concept. So minus 12 plus 4 is minus 8 x cubed and minus 6x. So using this specific example, we learned how to add two polynomials, how to subtract two polynomials, and how to multiply two polynomials. So when you add, subtract, or multiply any two polynomials, you will get a polynomial as the result. You will never get an index which is negative or a fraction. But if you're dividing two polynomials, which we learn in the next video, sometimes you will end up with a result which is not a polynomial. So for example, I can get a simple example in here. So for example, if px is x squared and qx equals x cubed, this of course are two polynomials. And if I'm dividing px on qx, what I get is x squared on x cubed which we'll get using the index rule, a to the power m on a to the power n equals a to the power m minus n. So this is x to the power 2 minus 3, which is x to the power minus 1. So when the index of the variable is minus 1, that's not a polynomial. So whenever we divide a polynomial with a polynomial of higher index, higher degree, you will end up with a result which is not a polynomial. So the sum, difference and product, it will never happen that way. You will always end up with a polynomial, but in division, sometimes if you're dividing with a polynomial of higher degree, you will end up with an answer which is not a polynomial. Okay, I hope that makes sense to you. So let's stop here. We'll learn about division in the next video.